So it's been a while since I did a review for a movie. My review right now is for The Conjuring 2. Save your money. Don't go see it. It was horrible. It was awful. It was long. It was boring. And most importantly, it was not scary. Okay, so this one follows. I was a fan of The Conjuring one. It worked. I don't know if it's because it was new, it was something fresh. And, I don't believe the Warren people at all. I think, they're a little batty. But whatever. It works for a movie. So I'm like, all right, Conjuring 2, it's going to be awesome. We start off in the Amityville horror house where actually these people did go for like a photo shoot or something. They say they were investigating something. I don't know what they were investigating at that point. The family had already left. The house is not haunted. Several generations of people lived in the house since. Nothing has happened. Put two and two together. But at the beginning of The Conjuring 2, you see that they're sitting there having some kind of seance, and she sees the whole murders happen that really did actually happen there, where some guy killed his whole family. And then she goes downstairs, and there's children standing there, and some weird kabuki nun ghost who's standing there and is like boogity boo, and she screams and wakes up, and she later tells her husband Ed, she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. That was the closest to seeing the devil I ever want to see. And he's like, okay, cool. Well, until we need money to pay the bills again, but I'll let you think you have a say so right now. So they move on to the Enfield Poltergeist, which is a little British girl. We meet her, and she's adorable and all that with her little British friends. They rented a little British house in the little British council. And the mom's like a housefrau. The husband ran away to go fuck a neighbor and have twins with that neighbor, we later find out. And the little girl, of course, brings home a self-made Ouija board, which is never a good idea in any horror movie, but whatever. So she starts playing with it. It doesn't seem to be working. Sure enough, shit starts to hit the fan where she's flipping up and down in her bed. The furniture flies a lot in this movie. There's a lot of furniture just been thrown across the room. I think somebody from Home Depot was just pitching shit off camera. Just fucking like throwing chairs, like, fuck it, let's make it scary. Throw another dresser or something like that. And aside from that, nothing happens. There's long stretches like we're establishing it's England. I get it. I understand we're there now. You don't have to show me pictures of the Queen, a brief picture of the British flag. I understand where we are. I don't need to be explained to that much. And for some reason, during the middle of it, like to make the kids feel better, Ed Warren spots a guitar in the middle of the room, and he's like, do you mind if I play? And they're like, oh, of course not, governor. And so he starts singing, he starts doing an Elvis impersonation, which was so fucking just painfully ridiculous. And he's like, wise men say only fools rush in. And then, keep in mind, the little girl's still supposedly haunted. Her little haunted ass starts singing. Like, I don't know if the spirit was singing along with her, and they're like, I can't help falling in love with you. Come on, sing it, demon that's possessing me. And by the way, the demon that's possessing this chick is it's an old man, we think at first. An old man. And I swear to God, I was laughing the entire time. You just keep seeing some old grandpa in the corner of the room going, get out my house. This is my house. Get out, you little bitch. And she's like, no. And eventually they do this scene where they're talking to the demon. She's like, I can't do the demon voice unless you look away from me. Of course she couldn't do the demon voice unless you look away from her. She was waiting to get she probably paid some homeless guy to sneak up behind her, like, listen, these fucking cuckoos here are here to investigate my fake haunting. Like, come up behind me when I tell them I'll turn around, I'll let you in the front door, and you start talking in your old weird drunken voice. But it was the funniest thing ever. They're like, who are you? Do you know my name? It's like, yes, I know your name. Your name is Ed, Eddie Spaghetti. That's what I call you. It just gets worse from there. And this is the best part. Earlier on, Lorraine Warren is walking around her creepy little house with her creepy little daughter, who apparently now is psychic also. Her daughter sees something in the hallway. So Lorraine follows her like, what's up, little fake psychic? And she's like, do you see that crazy evil kabuki nun at the end of the hallway? And Lorraine's like, yes, I do. Little bitch, get in the living room. I'm going to go investigate. That's what I would do. If I saw a weird, evil demon kabuki nun in my hallway, I would go follow it. I mean, immediately. Fuck that. I'd be out of the house so fast. I'd be like, I'd torch that house. We're not going back to that motherfucker. So the kabuki ghost is standing there and follows her into her, I guess it's her art room, and pops out and does another boo at her. And that's supposed to be really scary, even though it's not. But it turns out she's having a vision. And the whole time she's having this vision of seeing the evil kabuki ghost, she's actually like scribbling in a Bible that she just happens to be reading again. And her daughter's looking at her like, this is completely normal. And so how they stop the Enfield poltergeist And again, the effects were so bad, and this was so CGI. At the end, the little 70s girl, little 70s British girl, is floating in the air, and her little bell bottom's like, oh, I'm an evil ghost. Arr. She's like making scary faces, which may have worked if she had makeup or like Linda Blair Exorcist type shit on her. But it just looks like a little girl trying to act mean and scary, and it doesn't work. And she's floating above the house. She's floating, and Lorraine Warren comes in. It's like, I know how to stop the demon. I just have to know its name. Let me go look at my scratched up Bible outside. Meanwhile, all hell's breaking loose in the house, but this bitch got to run and go get her Bible to go read a name. I didn't know that demons were super powerful unless you found out their name. Unless you found out their name, then you're fucked. They can do all this shit. They can like bend trees. They can possess little kids. But if you know their name, it's just like, they're gone. So she's like, oh shit, let me run outside. So she runs outside, grabs her Bible, goes inside. It's like, I know your name, demon. It's blee 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 boo. And the demon's like, oh fuck, you know my name. It sinks into like a moldy hole in the wall. And then everything's all better again. And the little British girl is normal. And, you know, the movie ends. And it ends with an actual supposed recording of the real haunting. Let me get to the real haunting of the Enfield poltergeist. Because like everybody else, I got really curious about this. So I looked it up. Are you fucking kidding me with this shit? They interviewed those two little girls. First of all, what was up with their teeth? I mean, their teeth were coming out of their fucking mouths like fucking horizontally. It was creepy. Like listen. Anyway, look it up on YouTube. They're interviewing the two sisters. The main little girl, they did a really good job making them look like the actual people. They did look like the people that were in the movie. And her sister. And they're interviewing them in this TV special. And this girl is obviously having a fucking joke. Because the guy's like, seriously, is there a spirit here? She's like, I don't know. And her sister's behind her like, fucking bitch, we're trying to make money off this, stop it. And they're like, well, how often does it possess you? She's like, every once in a while when we hear knocking on the walls. And she can't stop fidgeting and acting. She's just weird. Ever occurred to anybody? She doesn't need an exorcism. She's a psychiatrist. She's fucking nuts. And every time the camera, in real life now, will pan to the older sister, the little girl wants attention so badly, she'll start going, arr, 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 arr. The camera pans back to hers like, and they're humoring this bitch. They're like, now, was that one of the evil demon voices possessing you? She's like, yes. And I swear to you, I can't make this shit up. She goes, there's three of them. There's Mr. Bojangles. I'm making that part up. I don't know the names. Mr. Spiffity Spoo. But this one is real. And Dirty Dick. Dirty Dick. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to let it stew for a little while. Let everybody make their own jokes about Dirty Dick possessing this little girl. Dirty Dick is the old man, by the way, who talks a lot. And again, the camera pans to her sister, like, so, seriously, is there any haunting here? Like, the chairs fly around? What happens? She's like, well, you know, and all of a sudden, as soon as the camera's on the sister, the little 11-year-old who's supposed to be possessed, like, oh, wait, this is me TV special, not me sisters. And she starts going, I'm new spirit, I'm bad right now. And I would be like, listen, you need a little slap across your mouth because you're faking this shit. Your mom should be slapped for fucking condoning this crap. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. And a bunch of people are coming here. No, it's real. Okay, okay. You check yourself into the nearest mental facility because that's where you need to be right now. As for Lorraine Warren, I like my favorite part about the Conjuring series is that these actors, these poor fucking actors like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, have to go on shows and pretend this crazy old woman is telling the truth. They have to like, well, you know, she's seen a lot in her day. She was in the Amityville Horror House. She's witnessed hauntings every 5 seconds. This is a woman who, remember the Annabelle doll in the movie? It's really a Raggedy Ann doll she keeps in a box and says it's scary. If your grandmother did that, you would have her committed immediately. If your grandmother put a Raggedy Ann doll in a box that says it's haunted, and I don't want anybody, I'm not going to throw it out or burn it or have a priest get rid of it. I'm going to keep it in this little nice little karaoke or caricature box or whatever and stay there, and I'm going to put a sign on it. You'd be like, okay, Nana, we're going to take a little field trip right now. You need something called shock treatment. Look, I am waiting for the next, because, you know, oh, this was the Warrens' worst case ever. You know this old lady's got crazy tales to tell. She was batshit from the get-go back in her 30s and 40s. She's crazier now that she's 80 and Alzheimer's has finally kicked in. I swear, the next pitch meeting, Lorraine Warren for The Conjuring 3, tell us some other things you investigated. Well, one time my pancakes were haunted. Did I ever tell you about the haunted IHOP? Well, one time me and Ed were there, and I was like, Ed, I'd like buttermilk pancakes, and they started to yell at me, and they called me a dirty, dirty whore and to wash my stinky vagina. So I took a Mrs. Butterworth's and I started battering my pancakes, and they called the police on me and Ed. And we're like, what? Don't you see that's possessed? And they're like, no. And that's when I had to start taking the pills. Get the fuck out of here. But to wrap it up, just to do this review. Conjuring 2, way too long, way too boring, nowhere near as good as the first one. I have to even watch the first one again. Maybe it was horrible and I was just like, tired and thought it was good. I don't know. But it sucked. Don't waste your time. If you have to absolutely see it, wait till it's on Redbox or like on demand where you can fast forward through the long, getting to know characters, which I'm all for, but I don't want to know these characters for 5 hours. And check out the Enfield Poltergeist interviews with the little girl from 1977 on YouTube and tell me that girl isn't faking that shit. You're welcome for me saving your money.